Hi everybody, so this tutorial is going to show you how to clean up your Google Classroom for the end of the school year. The first thing that we're going to talk about is returning all student work, unenrolling students, archiving old classes, deleting and removing old Google calendars, and organizing your Google Classroom folder. So the first thing that we'll talk about is returning all student work. So if you go to your Google Classroom and you want to see what students still need assignments turned into them, you'll go to your Google Classroom, you'll click on your classroom, you go up to the three bars on the left and click on To Do. Once you click on To Do, you'll hit this arrow here and pick the class that you want to look at that still needs assignments turned in. And what will happen is you'll see Turned In Assigned. Now, if you see Turned In and there's a number above it, that lets you know that that needs to be turned into your students, returned to your students because it was turned into you. So if you see a number above turned in, that means you want to still return it to your students. So if I see it says 3 turned in, I'll click on that assignment and I'll see the 3 that turned it in, and I want to make sure I get that returned to the student. So I click on their names. If I want to put a grade in, I can, and then I'll hit return. So that's one way to check and return all work. Another way to do that is if you're in your Google Classroom and you just go to grades, you can click on these 3 buttons here and you can hit return if assignments were not returned. So you'll hit return, but you want to check it over to make sure that all the grades were put in where they need to be put in. So those are 2 ways you can return work to your students. The next thing that we're going to look at is unenrolling your students from your Google Classroom. So at the end of the year, you want to have your students unenrolled. You don't want them getting any more work from you or looking into your Google Classroom. So if you click on your Google Classroom and you click on People, if you go over where it says Students and click the box to get all the students and it says Actions, you can just remove all the students from that class. The next tip is archiving your old class. Now, if you archive your old class, you can still reuse assignments from the archived class. That doesn't mean you're getting rid of the whole classroom, but it just makes your front page here look much neater. So to archive your old class, you just hit the 3 bars here and then you hit archive. You can also restore an archive if you hit 3 lines right here. And if you go to the bottom, all your archive classes are right there. They have the lines over them, but you can restore them if you want. So it gives it a nicer interface when you can do that with your Google Classroom. You can archive your classes. The next thing that you want to do is get rid of your Google calendars if you're sick of looking at all those, because they add up with every Google Classroom as well. So there's 2 ways to get rid of your Google Calendar. If you click on your Google Classroom and you click on classwork, there's a Google Calendar right up here. If you click on Google Calendar, you'll see all of your Google calendars listed right here. You just have to click on this arrow here and it will show you all your Google calendars. If you want to get rid of a Google Calendar, you just click on the 3 dots and hit this hide from the list. Or if you click on settings and sharing, and if you scroll down to the bottom, you just click delete and that will get rid of the calendar. Another way to get rid of your calendars is if you click on the waffle and you just go to calendar. The same thing, you'll go to the calendar here on the left, you'll click on the arrow to see all your calendars that you created, and then you just go over to the 3 bars, to the 3 circles right here, and you hit hide from list, or you can again hit settings and sharing, scroll all the way to the bottom, and then click delete. So that's a way to get rid of your Google calendars. Now, the last thing that I want to show you is how to clean up your Google Drive. So whenever you create a Google Classroom, there's a Google Drive that's created, a Drive folder for every classroom. Now, you never want to delete these because once you delete them, you'll get rid of your posts. So just don't delete these folders ever. So you don't want to get rid of all your work. But if you go to Classroom, you can see all the drives that are created, the drive folders from each Google Classroom. So if you want to just have the folders from your current class, you can archive your old ones. So you click New Folder, and then you hit Archive, and then you hit Create. So once you have that, you can just drop your old folders from your old classes into there, so you'll only see your new ones in here. But never delete those because you want to keep your work. If anyone has any questions with this, please call or email. Hope you're all doing great, and have a good day, everybody.